Okay, so I'm just going to go over a tool that I use quite a lot called Clipping Mask. And what you'll need to do is, so you use an image such as your base map and you want to edit that in its shape. So select it, then go to the Object, Clipping Mask, and then Make. And you can see, just using the pencil tool or even adding points using the pen tool, you can then edit that clipping mask. This doesn't actually delete the image behind, it just kind of covers over that area so it's no longer visible. So for instance, I'm just doing it on this base map here where it's kind of extra area that's going into the sea. To be honest, with this map I wouldn't edit it like I am just now, because it's a nice box, it's a nice square, I've not got that much sea. But for some of you I know who have mapped kind of an odd shaped map, just because of terrain or outcrop, etc., you might actually want to do this for your map to save space on your poster, if that works for you. So then you just release that, enter that, and then you can see it's there. So another thing you can use the clipping mask for is images such as your figures. So for instance here, I'd like to actually just concentrate on the area that's closest to the outcrop that we've just got straight in front of us here. So again, you need to go to Object, Clipping Mask, and Make. And then you can then trim around that area that you don't need. So I just want it to be focused on this closer to outcrop. Don't worry if it's kind of going a bit odd and it's cropping out the wrong side. Once you get to the end and join them, it is clear and it doesn't actually jump and go in the wrong place. So I'm just going to clip off the rest of this excess area and fast forward a little bit. So once you've got to the other end, you'll then want to join it up with the other side of this clipping mask. It should just join, but in this instance it's not wanting to. I've never had this before, but what seems to have happened is I started drawing a new line halfway through or just before I started, as opposed to joining it to the original clipping mask. So I've had a Google and I've found out how to amend this without having to redraw it all again. So what you'll need to do is make sure that the shape you've made is in the same layer as your image. So what you'll need to do is select both of them, and then you just go to Clipping Mask and Make, and then it just crops off all the excess. So instead of like last time, it just really easily, it should have just trimmed to the edge, like I already made the clipping mask and then I just edited the clipping mask. You can do it the opposite way, where you make a shape and then you make that the clipping mask. So then I'll just put them into separate layers. So here I'm just going to give you an example figure of something that you could do, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, so here is an example diagram I put together. Remember, scale, north arrow. For instance, I've created a log here. Something that you only really need to do once, because you might actually be able to copy and paste that and then reuse that for further logs. Things that I've been asked is simple things like drawing over a map or drawing over a diagram, sketches like that. You can do that, and that's a really good way to do it. So drawing over photos, etc., like I've done here. But you can also actually just create a diagram in Adobe itself. You don't have to draw a template and scan that in. It depends how you want to do it and how it works best for you. So here I've kind of created an arrow. You can actually just add an arrow on the end if you click on the stroke tool. And you can see that I've created everything, got my location of my log and the scale and everything like that. So just getting some nice detail in, and I would scan my log and trace over that in there. Okay, great. Well, I hope this helps, and just let me know if you've got any questions.